Hey everyone, and welcome to the next Star Wars Month video. Now, if you guys remember, a year ago today, I actually reviewed Star Wars Episode 4, A New Hope, to celebrate Star Wars' 45th anniversary. But the next few days will see me continuing the original trilogy and eventually completing it, just as I have now done with the prequels. I have now reviewed Episodes 1, 2, and 3, albeit in a slightly different order, but still. So today, I'm going to review Star Wars Episode 5, The Empire Strikes Back. Now, this film actually celebrated its 40th anniversary back in 2020, and there was a whole big celebrations about it, and it's generally regarded as the best Star Wars movie of all time. I found it personally just a great movie. Not the best, but a great movie. So it takes place some time after the events of Episode 4. The Rebels have relocated to the ice planet Hoth, and Luke has only started to really get to grips with his Jedi powers. Unfortunately, the Empire find their base, and the Battle of Hoth begins, and the Rebels are forced to evacuate. Luke is actually guided by the spirit of the late Obi-Wan Kenobi to journey to the planet Dagobah, to learn from former Grand Master of the Jedi Order, Yoda. This is actually the movie where we get to see Yoda for the first time. And he was voiced expertly by Frank Oz. Meanwhile, Vader just keeps scouring the galaxy for Skywalker, and hires these bounty hunters to find the Millennium Falcon, including the likes of Boba Fett, who I've actually covered a prototype figure of him earlier this month, and he also first appears in this film, bar a slight cameo in Episode 4, but you know what I mean. So Luke journeys to Dagobah and trains in the ways of the Force with Master Yoda, who sees him as quite arrogant and eager, and quite hot-headed, like his father before him, like Anakin. And eventually, Han, Leia, 3PO, and Chewie are actually travel to Cloud City in Bespin, where they are greeted by Han's friend, Lando Calrissian, the chief administrator of the city, where they wanted a place to hide from the Empire. However, it turns out Lando betrayed them. He signed a deal with Darth Vader, handing them over in order to protect the city from the Empire. And that betrayal has actually become one of the most shocking movie betrayals ever. In fact, Lando's name has now become synonymous with betrayal. Eventually, Luke, during his training, senses a vision of his friends in peril on Bespin, and so defying the orders of Yoda and Obi-Wan, travels to the planet of Bespin to basically save his friends. And he does so, but he also has a confrontation with Darth Vader. And I have to admit, the battle between Luke and Vader, like the first battle between Luke and Vader, that has to be one of the best. That's probably one of the best fights in the Star Wars universe. Just the sheer, the fact that the first half was surrounded by smoke and we could only see their shadows and their lightsabers lighting up the place. That just made it so intense. It was just an incredible fight. Of course, Vader overpowers Luke and actually cuts off his right hand, which actually happened to Anakin Skywalker, as I mentioned in the last video. But yeah, Luke gets his hand cut off, and he basically loses his lightsaber, and he's at Vader's mercy. Vader then tries to persuade Luke to join him so that he could complete his training, and so they could help bring order to the galaxy. But Luke remains headstrong and confident, and he refuses to join. Vader then goes on to say that Obi-Wan never told Luke what happened to his father, and that's when Luke says, that Obi-Wan told him that Vader killed him. But then a massive curveball drops on Luke's, but then a bombshell dropped on Luke's life when Vader revealed that he is Luke's father. And that scene is generally regarded as one of the most shocking scenes in cinema history. Possibly the greatest plot twist in cinema history. And that's what cemented Vader and Luke's rivalry as a truly great dynamic. Vader keeps on persuading Luke to join him, but Luke makes his escape by jumping down a shaft, and he basically keeps hanging on to the grip of the city right near the cloudy planet. And at this point, Leia, Lando, Chewie, and the droids have escaped from Bespin after they were captured by the Empire, and Han Solo was unfortunately frozen in carbonite and given to the clutches of Jabba the Hutt. Luke calls out to Leia to help, and surprisingly, Leia hears him, heavily hinting that Leia is strong in the Force as well. They do save him, and it's a bit of a dark time for the rebellion, as Han is now in the clutches of Jabba the Hutt, but they are going to go on a mission to rescue him, and that's in the next movie. So all in all, this movie is rather dark. I mean, it does end up with the rebels losing the first battle, Han getting frozen in carbonite, and Luke losing his hand to Vader. It's basically it's a really dark Star Wars movie, but it is absolutely fantastic. It's a great movie. I loved it. I love it a lot. I wouldn't call it my favourite of the original trilogy, but it's certainly a fantastic movie. And I highly recommend you guys check it out if you want truly great cinema. So I hope you guys enjoyed this review, and I will see you next time on Star Wars. We are approaching the end of Star Wars month, so in the next few days you will see my last Star Wars month videos of this month, of this year, and I hope to see you all during that time. So thanks again, and take care.